My daughter recognized a man at the grocery store. She said, "That's the man from my window. We live on the second floor." Bria is 4 years old and she says wild things all the time. Last week she told me her stuffed rabbit was a doctor who performed surgery on her other toys. So when she pointed at some random guy in the cereal aisle and said that, I almost laughed it off. But something about the way she said it made me stop. She wasn't being playful or silly. She looked scared. I knelt down and asked her what she meant. She said sometimes at night a man stands outside her window and waves at her. She waves back because she thinks he is being friendly, but he never smiles. I felt ice spread through my entire chest. We live in an apartment complex on the second floor. There is no balcony outside her window, no fire escape, nothing but a 20-foot drop to the ground. I looked up at the man she had pointed at. He was already walking away quickly toward the exit. Average height, brown jacket, baseball cap, pulled low. I grabbed Bria and followed him, but by the time I got outside, he had disappeared into the parking lot. I drove home way over the speed limit and went straight to her bedroom window. I examined every inch of it from the inside, nothing unusual. Then I went outside and looked up. That is when I saw it. Faint scuff marks on the brick, starting from the ground and going all the way up to her window. Someone had been climbing. I called the police immediately, and they came out to take a report. They dusted for fingerprints on the window frame and found several that did not match anyone in our family. They told me they would run them through the system and suggested I install cameras and better locks. That night I slept on the floor of Bria's room with a baseball bat next to me. 3 days later the detective called. The fingerprints matched a man named Garrett who had been convicted twice for stalking and had a history of targeting single-parent households. He had been released 8 months ago, and there was no current address on file. The detective said they were actively looking for him, but could not make any promises. I installed 4 cameras that same day. One pointed directly at Bria's window. For 2 weeks, nothing happened. I started to relax slightly. Maybe he had moved on. Maybe the police activity scared him away. Then, on night 15, I woke up at 3 a.m. to a notification on my phone. Motion detected. I opened the app and watched in real time as a figure in dark clothing scaled the wall toward my daughter's window. He moved like he had done it dozens of times before, fluid and confident. I sprinted to her room with my phone already dialing 911. I burst through her door, and he was right there on the other side of the glass, his face inches from the window. He saw me, and for 1 second we just stared at each other. Then he smiled. Not a friendly smile, the kind of smile that said he had been waiting for this moment. He dropped from the wall and vanished into the darkness before I could even get outside. The police arrived 11 minutes later, but he was long gone. They found his car abandoned 2 blocks away. Inside were photographs, dozens of them, all of Bria through her window. Some of her sleeping, some of her playing, some of her looking directly at the camera and waving like she told me she did. There were notes too, pages of observations about our routines, what time I left for work, what time the babysitter arrived, what time Bria went to bed. He had been watching us for months and planning something I cannot let myself think about. We moved 3 days later. I did not even pack properly, just grabbed what we needed and left everything else behind. We stayed with my sister for 2 months before finding a new place. Ground floor this time with bars on every window and a security system that cost more than my car payment. They caught Garrett 7 weeks later in another state, trying the same thing with another family. A neighbor saw him climbing and tackled him before he reached the window. He is in prison now, awaiting trial. Bria still asks sometimes about the waving man and whether he was sad that she stopped waving back. I tell her he moved far away and cannot visit anymore. She seems satisfied with that answer. I check every window in our house 3 times before I sleep. I probably always will. Last month, Bria told me she saw a friendly lady watching her from the park across the street. I hired a security consultant the next morning.